Welcome back, everybody, to Grand Tactician, the Civil War. My goal, my hope, is that this becomes the final episode, but I can't guarantee that. National morale of the Confederacy is at 27, which means they're just about there. 25 is what we need to win, below 25. So we're hoping we can drive him down below that, and I think it's quite possible. You can see here the total casualties. We've inflicted twice as many casualties as we have suffered, but the casualties are pretty heavy. I mean, and they're about what they probably would have been at this point in the war historically, which is nearing in on 400,000 in terms of the dead anyway. So that's kind of where we're at. With only 3 percentages left to go, we're going to try to take Norfolk from the Confederates. That might be enough to get this done. We're going to see what taking Norfolk does to the Confederate morale situation. That's a major city for the Confederates to lose. And there it is. They're still at 27. It might take a little time for that to drop. We're also waiting for General Meade and his Army of North Carolina to hit that readiness stage where we'll be able to start building a supply depot that then will allow us to start moving inland. We want to try and move on Wilmington. Although part of me thinks that at this point in the war, I'll just go ahead and move him on Wilmington, and we won't worry about the supply depots because I'm not entirely sure we're going to need it. We passed the Revenue Act. What happened here? The Battle of the Mississippi Delta, so we just won another battle there. 5th Corps is preparing for siege. Okay, Meade's moved into the next stage of readiness. We're going to put him on an offensive stance now, which is going to take a while because communication is pretty slow to the coast of North Carolina. Glorious victory at Memphis, and we're going to fight a battle. 1st Corps Army of the Tennessee versus the Confederate Army of Tennessee. So let's go ahead and take the 1st Corps into action. This could be the final battle. All right, this is going to be a fun map to fight on. It's one of my favorite maps in the game. This is the map around Chattanooga. So we've got Missionary Ridge right here. You've got Lookout Mountain over here. It looks like Missionary Ridge may be where we're going to have to do this. We've got the Tennessee River running right through the middle, but we're able to cross to the other side. We've got pontoon bridges there, and we're already on the other side. We've only got a limited-sized force, though. More concerned about the morale situation, which ours is 45, his is 30. So I think we probably want to push this. First things first, we're going to send our cavalry with evade orders. I don't know why I put that other cavalry unit over there. That's completely unnecessary because the Confederates are back in this direction. So let's go ahead and bring the cav over this way. And we're going to send Gorman out just so we can try to get a sense of where the rebels are. This is a crucial battle for us. I'm going to put everybody in single line formations and then advance out. Okay, so Gorman's cavalry ran smack dab into the entire Confederate line. Not entirely surprised by that at all. Let's go ahead and dismount. We're going to go ahead and engage. Let's get up there as quick as we can. And force him to change his positioning. We don't want to fight on his terms. We want to fight on ours. Gorman, your job is just to hold these guys. The 1st Prussian American Cavalry Brigade. We'll get help as soon as we can up there. We're going to get this artillery up on this ridge where hopefully they can spot the enemy. Okay, our lead infantry brigade, the Coloradan Light Foot, is on its way up. Followed by the 1st Brigade. We've got some artillery behind them. Slater's Legion's right here. And then things are kind of bunched up after that. That's the Displaced Royal Division coming up. So I know I mentioned that I'd take a week or two off at the end of this campaign before we started the Confederate one. The thing is, though, it looks like this campaign is taking a lot longer than I expected it was going to. I thought we'd win it sooner. So by the time you guys see this video, I will have already made my posts over on Patreon for the unit requests for our new Confederate campaign. I'm excited to dive into the Confederate campaign again because the game has changed so much since we last played as the Confederates. I think it's going to be an excellent challenge. I think it's going to probably be a very prolonged campaign. And it's going to be interesting because obviously the weapon and financial situation is going to be different for the Confederates. I think we're going to be heavily outnumbered as the Confederates, and we're going to have to get really creative with some things. So if you are at the Major General level, I'll be doing a special post for you to request your division. And I'll post this in the information as well, but I'll post kind of the parameters for what you can request, and then the same for everybody else with the brigade requests. I'll post those, and I'll ask you just to reply to the post. That allows me to keep everything in one place rather than having to search through messages and emails and things like that. We can keep them all in one place. All right, Gorman's cavalry just broke, which is kind of surprising because they only lost 141 men, and their loss resilience was still pretty good. So I don't know what happened there, but that's okay. Now we just need to sort our infantry situation. Okay, we've got our infantry in place. I think that's everybody. It is. We're going to start advancing. Start with Tyler's brigade there, or division there. It's going to be a little more interesting for McGinnis and the Displaced Royal Division. We're about to run out of daylight, though, so I don't know how much fighting we're actually going to get to do here. Slater's Legion's coming right at that battery. Hopefully we'll drive that battery off quickly. He's going to have to redeploy because obviously he's not going to like my positioning here. What are these guys doing? Colorado and Lightfoot, can we turn and face the other way, please? There we go. Yeah, no way that battery was going to hold with 3 brigades firing on them. Alright, morale is pretty even on both sides. Routes are about the same, losses are about the same. We're going to bring Dylan up. I'm going to keep the cavalry on the flank. I'm waiting to see if Runyon or if Gorman can reform with his men. They seem okay at the moment. Now, so far he's not redeploying, but we're also almost out of daylight, so he may redeploy after that. There he goes. We're bordering right between a minor victory and a minor defeat right now. Our morale has jumped ahead of his. Alright, Tyler, move forward. We have to keep kind of obliquing to the right with the Displaced Royal Division. Just because of the angle that we're coming in at. And this is a really tough place to try and attack across. Send Buchanan straight up. Now he's starting to redeploy right as the day ends. What time is it? This is the summer, so we're obviously going to have a little more daylight. We got all the way up to 9 o'clock. This is an ugly place to have to try and attack. I'm going to shift a little bit here. I don't like having to attack over this water at all. We got to bring our guns up too. Got to find a good spot for those. Maybe right back here. That seems like a good spot for the guns. Alright, let's do it. Now he's got to completely redeploy. I'm going to plug this cav right in here. Gorman looks like they've recovered successfully. Alright, McGinnis, let's push it before he comes at us with this entire army. I gotta get across this water. I don't like this at all right here. Hopefully first, though, we can drive off Star's brigade. How the guns doing? They're still idle. Darn it. I gotta find a spot to get these guns to be able to fire. How about right here for this one? Maybe back these guys up over here. Alright, we drove off Star's brigade. Yeah, if we... I wonder what does it take to get a major victory, because that might be enough to finish the war. Major victory, we need to inflict more than 37% casualties on the enemy. I don't know if that's going to happen. He's only at 7% now. We'd have to be super aggressive to do that. I suppose it's possible. Alright, 4th Regiment of Foot, the South Wales Borderers. We're going to get them moved up. 18th Royal Irish Regiment. Let's bring over the Connacht Rangers. Still no firing with these batteries. This one's firing with half its guns. Let's bring them over just a hair. Alright, we need to inflict some major casualties here. Need my corps commander moved up. %. We need 37% casualties on the enemy to make this a major victory. Alright, McGinnis, push forward. We're going to be aggressive. We're going to keep pushing. %. Bring up the guns. Who's getting low on ammo? Wallace. Slater's Legion. These guys here. WHL Wallace. Historically killed at Shiloh, but still living on here today. Alright, almost 18% casualties to the enemy. We're a little over halfway. We're going to need to inflict another 4,000 casualties to make this a major victory. It's possible. Alright, let's dismount Palmer. Get him going. I think it's probably going to slide over to complete victory before I can inflict that kind of casualties. considering the routes he's already suffered. Push! Push, McGinnis. Gonna keep closing the trap. We gotta try and inflict a lot of casualties quickly. South Wales borderers just came up and smashed Buford's brigade. %. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get there. What's going on here? Pender's brigade, hit him, Dylan. Yeah, this one's in the bag. Only 8 minutes after the retreat, so there's no way we're going to inflict another 13% casualties. No, that's okay. We'll have to take the minor victory. That'll still knock another percent. That is going to get them close. 1,100 casualties, 8,500 on the Confederate side. No way this kind of thing happens in a new Confederate campaign. We're not going to see those kinds of losses. All right, narrow victory at Bridgeport, Army of Tennessee, fleeing in panic. That's this fight right here, down here in Chattanooga. We've got McClellan's army here. Not entirely sure why they're not showing any supply, because we've got supply depots. So we need to move on Price's Corps and drive them out of the Knoxville area. Where are we at now? 26 for Confederate national morale. That means I think we're going to get there this episode. Army of North Carolina, not quite ready to move, but you can see he's moving an army south to counter us. We can't move on hostile territory till we get up into the yellow readiness. All right, we've got our 2 corps down here in Mississippi, 1 in Grenada. Which is going to move on Jackson. All right, we're going to have a battle here. Oh, it's Meade. The Army of North Carolina has been confronted by Owen's army. So in the meantime, if we can win that battle, and then we're going to give the 17th Corps orders for Vicksburg. But that's going to have to wait until after this battle. Okay, General Meade, let's see what we got. I think we're going to dig in. How about some parapets? Right out in front here. Make them come at us. In fortifications. Make them earn it. Okay. So the Confederates are coming right down this road. It occurred to me after I built my defensive position that he might not follow this particular road. So I sent my cavalry up there hoping that we can draw him in this direction, because I'm concerned he's going to go down this road and come down the Telegraph Road toward the objectives. But we're going to find out here in a second what his choice is going to be, because if that happens, we've got to completely redeploy. Come on, baby, come this way. Oh, we just lost sight of him. What's he going to do? We're going to see in just a second. He's already winded. Interesting. How's he got a brigade with 3,700 men in it? That's interesting. I thought the max was 3,000. They've all got 3,700 men in them. Which way are you going? Come straight. It is kind of a road, so I'm hoping he'll come this way. He's going to deploy. Alright, let's pull back. Alright, well, we spent most of the day just sitting here with no action, which is fine because he has to come to me. We're racking up the victory points by holding objectives. He's got the larger army. I do not want to attack him. So it looks like he is trying to shift at least some units down the Telegraph Road. If we hold him long enough, we're going to get nighttime here in another couple hours, and then we can redeploy and build a new set of fortifications if necessary. This is why it's good to have that cavalry out there to kind of scout things out. Alright, he's opening up with his artillery on me, so we're going to have to get in close so we can put some fire on these guys. I might even mount up and charge the guns, but this is the first action ever for this unit. And we're not going to have a lot of action before the time runs out. I think we'll push up with this cav too. Yeah, they're going to pull back. Alright, engage. Morale is stable. First combat situation, facing off against 19 guns. How are these guys getting larger than the max? Interesting. Oh, and they broke really fast. Holy cow. 46 losses, and they're like, we're out. We're done. Good. Pursue. Come after them. Do it. Alright, first cavalry's getting into action. They've got Sharps carbines. We'll see how they do. One of the things that we'll notice is the morale is capped for their first battle at 68%, so it can never be higher than that in their first battle. So that's part of the problem we run into. These guys seem to be doing alright so far. And there's the end of the day. Alright, we'll see what the Confederates do. There's certainly that distinct concern he's going to come down the Telegraph Road. If that's going to be the case, I think what we'll do is we'll just pull this left flank back. We'll dig new parapets right in here. And then we'll be okay. Alright, does look like he's coming down the road now. I'm going to go ahead and pull this cav back. And we're going to deploy for a defensive position right in here. In fact, I think we can probably pull this brigade over into this spot. We got our artillery ready. Mendel's cavalry seems to be recovering, so we'll have them as a reserve if needed. Okay, he's bringing in his artillery. Ours have already opened up on him. We're going to bring this other artillery right over here. "20 guns. My goodness. He's going to bring them right up as close as they can get. Let's get our 3-inch ordnance with counter battery fire. These are also 3-inchers. So we can get some good counter battery fire going here. Try and weaken that brigade as much as we can. We are in range to be able to fire. Already taken out 3 guns, maybe 4 guns. Yeah, he's not going to last long. Alright, let's bring Carrington over into the fortifications. He may try to get around our flank, so I'm going to shift Mendel over that way. Down to 14 guns. We're taking them out quick. Nice. Alright. Fire at will. So far so good. We are outnumbered. We have suffered a higher casualty rate, but that's mostly because of those guns. Morale slightly higher, but look at all those objective points. Just worried he's going to keep going around my flank here, which is what I would do in this situation. No way I'd attack front on. Alright, I'm sending a group from Wainwright up here to grab some of these guns. Since he left them out there. So that's 4 guns we didn't have before. We'll pull those back now. I don't know if we can do the same with the other groups. Oh, it looks like we can. We could send a detachment from each of these brigades to get some guns. Everybody grab some guns. We'll add to our artillery number. He's definitely shifting in over on my left, though. But this may be over before he even gets a chance to attack. We're going to pull as many of these guns back as we can. Well, so far we're just engaging with artillery and skirmishers. And we're keeping on creeping toward ultimate victory because we're just racking up those objective points. We've got nearly 70 of them now. He's just too afraid to push. I think he's trying to draw me out, but there's just no way that's going to happen. I might go ahead and send some skirmishers out, though, just to try and inflict some more casualties. Pretty even so far. Very strange battle. Nobody wanted to do anything. Alright, let's speed things along. Just see those victory points continuing to tick up. And every time they do, this goes a little further to the right. And now he's starting to adjust. I don't know what he's doing now. I think he's retreating. Excellent. Might be enough to end the war. Okay, he did withdraw. Never even engaged our main force. That was a small skirmish in the grand scheme of things. 550 Confederate casualties, 451 for Meade's Army of North Carolina. That's a victory. What kind of percentage points are we talking for the Confederates in terms of their morale hit? That's the big question, because this is going to put them right on the brink. All right, only half a point. Still, we're heading in the right direction. We take a couple of cities, I think this thing's over. Okay, our Owen's army fleeing in panic. Where's that put Meade's army in readiness? It's ready to move. Let's take Wilmington. And might do it. That's another big city. Oh, we're going to have a fight first. Oh boy, we're going to have a fight. Where is this? The Army of the West. This is going to be West Tennessee. Northern West Tennessee. I did send the Army of the West down there. Oh boy. He's got 163 guns. You know what? I think we're going to withdraw. Pull that army back. There's no need to engage that force, not when I'm on the verge of victory. They're at 25. I think capturing Wilmington's going to do it. All right, Meade, get going. We just won a victory at Richmond. They tried to attack me there. A desperate attempt to turn the tide. They actually went up to 26. That's kind of strange. All right, Meade's going to take Wilmington. We've got actually 2 squadrons down there now. If he takes Wilmington and that doesn't end the war, we're going to start the process of building some supply depots there. What just happened here? Union buys back bonds. McClellan reaches his destination. All right, we're starting to take Wilmington. Let's start the process of building supply depots there. At least 2. There's no Confederate defense here, so there's nothing to keep me from taking the city. Except moving too far past it, Meade. Come on, dude. The war's over. There it is. Okay. August 3rd, 1863, the Confederacy sues for peace. With malice, my favorite speech from Lincoln. With charity, malice toward none, with charity for all, with firmness in the right, as God gives us to see the right. This is his second inaugural address. Let us strive on to finish the work we are in, to bind up the nation's wounds, to care for him who shall have borne the battle, and for his widow and his orphan, and to achieve, and to do all which may achieve and cherish a just and lasting peace among ourselves and with all nations. My favorite speech probably ever in the history of the United States. All right, epilogue. Again, I've got the sound turned off, so you don't hear much in terms of the music and stuff. We're going to see the numbers, the final numbers. Let's take a look. Here we go. He ended up with more men fielded than me, 500,000. But there you go. Battles won 56-22. Total casualties more than 2-1. And that made the difference. Federal total dominance. All right, so I'm going to post put the posts over on Patreon for the Confederate unit requests. We will start the Confederate campaign next week. Maybe. I'm going to be in Vicksburg, so I think it might have to wait. We'll try to squeeze in one before I go, at least one episode, but then the rest will have to wait until after I come back from Vicksburg. I'll be gone in Vicksburg Tuesday through Friday of next week, shooting video for my other channel. So we'll see what we can do. Head on over to Patreon. If you are a patron, start putting in your Confederate unit requests. Should be a good one. Thanks for watching, guys.